If you're a penis owner, how do you know if your pelvic therapist is a good fit for you? This is a great question, and I get this asked a lot. So here are my top 4 tips to finding out if your pelvic therapist is a right fit for you. Is the therapist that you're working with penis friendly, right? This is such a great question. And it's going to require a little bit of internal inquiry to figure out whether or not someone that you're working with is a good fit. So first things first is really reflecting on what your experience is, learning more about this therapist. You want to consider all the connection touch points, for example, like their website. Does their website welcome all genders and include sex positive and affirming language and education around your specific pelvic health and sexual health concerns? Have they taken any additional coursework specific to men's health, and do they put that on their website? Do you feel heard and understood when navigating their website, or when you're talking to their administrative staff, or maybe when you're consulting with the therapist directly? Do you feel comfortable to divulge your most vulnerable parts of your inner and outer self without feeling judged or shamed? Building this container of trust takes time, where you and your therapist are committed to being open, honest, receptive, and genuine with each other during the entire therapeutic process. Next, you want to set up a get-to-know-you call to ask your potential therapist about their experience with working with men who have similar situations and concerns. And I invite you to ask them to walk you through what to expect during an initial visit. A lot of men that I work with are concerned about getting an erection during a therapy session. So does your therapist bring this up? Do they talk candidly about erections with you? Are they comfortable talking about sexual health concerns in general? So you want to get a sense of what their approach and style is. So for example, like pain, and this could be applied to any other concern that you're having, but these experiences are a whole person experience that's shaped by your environment, the context, the interactions that you have with others, yourself, your inner and outer world experiences. And through this collaborative and compassionate inquiry, you should be invited to discover new ways to navigate your concerns so that you move towards where you want to be and how you want to feel in your life. And so since we're on the topic of feels, I think it's important that your concerns and personal experiences are validated throughout your session. So for some people, that means being able to show their therapist exactly where they hurt, even if it's their penis. You and your therapist should be openly discussing what this process would look like, and you should be informed of your options for evaluating your most intimate parts. That being said, from a traditional pelvic therapy standpoint, pelvic therapy has overly emphasized the internal examination part. You should know that this part of the examination is not necessary in order for you to feel better. Sometimes it gives us more information and it is completely applicable to your needs and your goals, and other times it's really not warranted. So if you're hesitant or worried at all about any part of the examination, not just the internal part, but any part of the examination, your therapist should work with you on this and provide alternatives. All right, so let's talk expectations. It's really helpful to get clear on what your expectations are around resolving your concerns and working with your therapist. So what are your expectations around your therapy sessions? What are you hoping to get out of these therapy sessions? How do you want to feel during and after your sessions? How long do you think this process is going to take? Are your expectations realistic? So for example, let's say you've been dealing with pelvic pain for many years and you feel that you should get rid of this pain in just a few days, right? Let's say that. This kind of expectation is a little harmful, because what happens when things don't pan out that way? What happens if what you expect doesn't match up with what is really happening as part of this process? And so I'm afraid that these expectations might actually lead to further frustration and disappointment and hopelessness in your situation. So, as my one patient has put it, the recovery process is like a crock pot process, not a microwave. And lastly, did you do an inventory recently? Have you taken the time to really reflect on what's worked and what hasn't worked? The reason why I have you think about this question is because it's really important for you to get a bigger picture view of everything that you've tried up until this point. And reflecting on how this has shaped the trajectory of your healing in the direction, whether that's in the direction that you want to go, or is it taking you away or moving you away from who you want to be and how you want to feel. So really kind of looking at things from a broader picture perspective to see if the things that you're doing, are they truly helping you to move forward with this situation and find meaning in your life despite this adversity. When you know clearly, what works for you, what's not working for you, and how you want to be supported, you can consult with your therapist to perhaps brainstorm new and innovative ways to help you get back to doing the things you love. Your therapist should also be open to receiving your feedback and making adjustments on your collaborative care plan accordingly. That being said, if the person that you're working with is just doing the same old thing over and over and over again, and you feel like you're just not making any momentum moving forward, or hopefully this isn't the case for you, but maybe you're feeling worse as a result of this therapeutic relationship, then maybe it's time to just pause and perhaps you discuss these concerns with your therapist. Or maybe you take a break from therapy for a little while, or maybe you just get a second opinion. Working with a pelvic health therapist or any healthcare provider is you're really just gathering the resources and picking their brain and learning, gathering knowledge from them to really help yourself out. Health providers and wellness providers are they're not going to literally take your pain away. Sometimes it's really easy that it works out that way, and other times it really doesn't. So understanding that you yourself have the power and ability to navigate your way through a very difficult situation is the most empowering thing that you can ever do for yourself. And if the people that you're working with do not support you in that way, or give you tools and strategies to help to work with yourself, then that's something to really think about and make a decision about if that relationship is worth pursuing further or not. Ultimately, this is your body, this is your life, and these are your choices. And the resources and the support that you receive from health professionals should be collaborative. They are opinions, professional opinions, but ultimately you're the one that's making these decisions and living in your body. And so it's really important that the people that you're working with take into consideration who you are, your goals, your needs, your fears, your worries, your strengths, all of that into supporting you throughout your journey. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and hit the like button below. This will help other guys in your situation also find these resources sooner than later. If you're a penis owner who's currently struggling with pelvic pain, you're not alone. check out the Men's DIY Pelvic Pain Relief Program. The link is in the description below.